My parents lied about being bankrupt, took my money, and secretly blew it all, gambling in Vegas while my little sister slept on inflatables. I found the proof, exposed them at dinner, and watched their entire scam burn to the ground. Hey Reddit, so Ethan turned 30 this year and thought I'd finally have a chill birthday surrounded by family and friends. Instead, I found out something that flipped my whole view of family upside down. What started as a Facebook post ended up uncovering years of lies, guilt trips, and secrets I didn't even know existed. Let's just say, by the time it was over, I wasn't the one being treated like a joke anymore. Turning 30 didn't scare me. I'm a plumber and pipe fitter. I fix what other people mess up. I'm not rich, but I do fine. My parents, though, they act like I crawl through sewers for pocket change. Every family dinner turns into the same routine. Dad bragging about his corporate wisdom, mom nodding like she's married to a genius, and both of them pretending my career is some tragic joke. Still, I wanted to celebrate. I planned a rooftop birthday in Atlanta. Nothing huge, maybe 50 people. Family, friends, a couple of coworkers who actually like me. I'd even reserved a small terrace with string lights and a grill setup. It wasn't flashy, but it was mine. I texted the family group chat 2 weeks before. Hey, doing something for my 30th, Saturday night, rooftop downtown. Food, music, no drama. My sisters Ava and Alexis messaged back instantly. A bunch of emojis and yay! We'll come. They're 14, full of energy, and the only reason I still talk to my parents half the time. But then mom replied, we'll see, we're busy, and dad dropped the classic thumbs up emoji like he was approving a memo, not his son's birthday. They've always been like that. When I was younger, I used to talk about going to Vegas one day, just to see it. The lights, the food, the chaos. Dad would scoff and say, that's a waste of money. Focus on grinding, not gambling. So I did. I worked, I saved, I built a life. But apparently, grinding only applies when they're not the ones buying plane tickets. 3 days before my birthday, mom calls me. I thought it was about the party. Instead, she starts laughing and says, birthday parties at your big age? You should be saving for a house, not wasting money on cake. Yeah, well, I like cake, I told her. You're ridiculous, she said, still laughing. 30 is too old for that stuff. I just smiled and let her talk. The twins were in the background asking about decorations, so I figured they'd all still come anyway. Maybe they were teasing. Maybe they were pretending. Either way, I moved on and went back to work. 2 nights before the party, I'm in my apartment, eating leftovers, scrolling Facebook. That's when I see it. My mom's profile picture changed. She's standing in front of a hotel fountain, big smile, sunglasses, the words Caesar's Palace glowing behind her. At first, I thought it was old, but then Dad's post shows up right under it. Caption, finally free, Vegas time. I blinked, refreshed the screen, and there it was again. New pictures popping up every few minutes, casinos, buffets, bright lights. They're posing like they hit the jackpot. Even my mom's posting a video of some showgirls. The comments section is full of people saying, you deserve it, and have fun. I just stared at it. My parents. The same people who told me Vegas was a waste of money. The same people who couldn't even confirm if they were coming to my birthday. I checked the timestamp. 2 hours ago. They were literally in Vegas right now. Then I saw the twins in one of the pictures, sitting in a hotel room, looking miserable, holding matching sodas. It hit me harder than I expected. They weren't even smiling. So I commented under Dad's post. A question mark didn't think he'd answer, but he did. A minute later, a notification popped up. His reply was short. Didn't want to waste our time on a clown. At first, I thought it was a joke. Then I realized it wasn't. My dad doesn't joke. He lectures. Something in me just went quiet. Not angry, not hurt, just clear. I typed back, then this clown's done paying for your circus. Hit send. Sat back. That was it. They didn't respond. I'm not the type to make scenes online, but for once, I didn't care who saw it. It wasn't about embarrassment. It was about finally being done pretending this family was anything more than a one-sided transaction. I scrolled through the pictures again. New hotel rooms, fancy buffets, spa photos, and all I could think was, where did they even get that kind of money? These were the same people who spent years crying about bills, calling me asking for small help every month. The same ones who said they were barely scraping by. Now they're in Vegas? Staying at Caesar's Palace? Posting like influencers? I closed the app and stared at the ceiling for a while. That one line my dad wrote. Didn't want to waste our time on a clown. It looped in my head. I wasn't angry. I was calculating. Because what they didn't know was that the clown they just mocked was the one keeping their bills paid. And that comment? That was the most expensive thing my dad ever wrote. I sat on my couch that night staring at my phone, debating if I should cancel the whole birthday thing. I already paid for the food, the decorations, the terrace, but what was the point now? The one thing that should have been automatic, your own family showing up, was gone. My pride kept tapping on my shoulder though. You're not canceling for them. You're doing this for you. So I went through with it. Saturday came fast. Guests started rolling in around 7. Friends, co-workers, cousins I hadn't seen in years. Every handshake, every happy birthday man, felt like proof that I didn't need my parents' approval to exist. I laughed harder that night than I had all year. Then I saw 2 familiar faces walking toward me, my grandmothers. Nana, on my mom's side, walked in holding a homemade cake like she owned the place. Grandma Jeannie, my dad's mom, followed behind with a card in one hand and her purse in the other, wearing her usual "don't start with me" look. Seeing them both there almost knocked the wind out of me. Nana hugged me first. 30 looks good on you, she said, tapping my chest. Don't let those people make you feel small. Then Jeannie said, you've always been the hardest worker in this family. Don't forget that. Those words hit harder than anything I'd heard in years. It wasn't about the cake or the lights. It was that somebody finally saw me, not as a backup plan, but as a man who built his own life. I stood there for a second, watching everyone laugh, take pictures, eat. The city lights looked different that night, like they were finally shining for me instead of through me. For the first time, I didn't care what my parents thought. Their absence didn't ruin anything. If anything, it made the whole thing better. By 11, people started leaving. The rooftop quieted down, the music faded, and I finally sat on a chair just soaking it all in. I scrolled through my phone, half expecting some petty text from my dad. Nothing. Just peace. Until a new message popped up from Ava. Can you talk? She asked. My heart dropped a little. I stepped away from the crowd and called her. She answered fast, whispering. Ethan, we're sorry, she said right away. For what? For not being there. We wanted to come so bad. Mom and Dad made us go to Vegas. We didn't even want to. I could hear her sniffling, and Alexis in the background trying to get her words in too. They left us in the hotel room, Ethan, Alexis said. All day. They'd go out and come back late. Sometimes Mom would stumble, and Dad smelled weird. Like something gross. They were acting crazy. I went silent. They said we were being ungrateful when we told them we wanted to go to your birthday, Ava said quietly. Dad yelled and said, don't start acting like your brother. My stomach tightened. They were 14, stuck in Vegas while their parents ran around pretending to be high rollers. They didn't even take us anywhere fun, Alexis added. We stayed in the room. Mom told us to order room service and watch TV. We just kept seeing your post from the party. We really wanted to be there. I sat down on the edge of the terrace, gripping my phone. You girls okay now? Yeah, Ava said. We just wanted to tell you we're sorry. We didn't want to miss your birthday. We love you. I couldn't even talk for a second. I just said, you didn't do anything wrong. You hear me? That's not on you. When we hung up, I stayed sitting there for a while, staring at the empty plates and the city skyline. The anger wasn't loud. It was quiet, steady, like someone flipped a switch in my head. It wasn't just that they skipped my birthday. It was that they dragged their daughters across the country, dumped them in a hotel, and called me the clown. They were never going to see me as anything other than the guy they could mock and use. But the twins? They still saw me as their brother, the only one who showed up when it counted. That's when I realized something. I wasn't the kid trying to earn respect anymore. I was the one holding everything together, without them even knowing it. That was the moment I stopped being their son and started being the only real adult in that family. A month after the party, my phone started lighting up again. At first, I ignored it. Mom called twice, then Dad, then a text from home. That's what they labeled their number under the family plan I still paid for. Mom sent, hey sweetie, hope your birthday went well. We saw some pictures. Looked nice. Translation, we saw we weren't missed. I didn't respond. A few hours later, I got a text from Dad. You around? Then another one. Need to talk. It's important. I still said nothing. Next day, the tone shifted. Mom left a voicemail doing her fake calm voice, the one she uses right before guilt-tripping someone. Ethan, I don't know what's going on with you, but your father's been really stressed lately. Can you please pick up? You know how fragile things are right now. Fragile. That was their favorite word. Fragile finances, fragile emotions, fragile lies. By the third day, I started to recognize what was happening. They weren't calling out of love. They were calling because their little safety net just disappeared. See, for the past year and a half, I'd been sending them $1,200 a month, every first Friday, like clockwork, straight into my dad's account. No questions asked. He told me he was bankrupt, said no one else in the family would help, that his business collapsed, and they were on the edge of losing the house. I didn't even hesitate back then. I stepped up because of Ava and Alexis. They didn't deserve to go through the mess of losing their home. My dad said, it's just temporary. A few months until I get back on my feet. A few months turned into 18. I thought I was doing the right thing, being the dependable son, the guy who didn't just talk about loyalty, but actually lived it. Every time he said, you saved us again, I believed him. That's the funny part. I believed someone who never once believed in me. After that Vegas stunt, though, I didn't send a dime. Not to the parents anyway. I didn't announce it, didn't warn them. I just logged into my bank app, scrolled to the recurring transfer, and hit cancel. Then I opened Venmo and sent the twins $300 each with a note that said, for snacks and school stuff. Love you. That was the last transfer that left my account for them. For a few days, it was quiet, peaceful even. No calls, no messages. I was almost convinced maybe they didn't notice yet. Then the panic started. Mom texted first, hey, did something happen with the payment this month? Maybe it didn't go through? 10 minutes later, Dad followed. What's going on? I thought we agreed you'd help until my business stabilizes. I ignored them. Next day, Mom didn't give up. Ethan, you're putting us in a bad spot. The mortgage is due. Still nothing. Then came the guilt. We're family, Ethan. Family doesn't turn their back when things get tough. Your sisters will be crushed if we lose the house. Is that what you want? I almost laughed. The same man who called me a clown online was now throwing family around like it was some magical password. When guilt didn't work, they tried begging. I started getting multiple voicemails a day. Mom crying saying, "I don't understand what we did to deserve this coldness." Dad going full victim mode. "I guess success changes people. We raised you better than this." Raised me better? Yeah, by example. Show up broke, lie, and expect someone else to clean up the mess. By the end of the week, I came home from work to find a folded note stuffed into my apartment mailbox. The handwriting was my dad's. "Ethan, we're about to lose the house. Please, just one more month. I'm begging you. I'll pay you back as soon as I can. We're in a bad place." I read it twice. My brain replayed every image from those Vegas photos, hotel suites, buffets, his finally free caption. Lose the house? The man was just in Vegas 2 weeks ago, pretending to be a high roller. I crumpled the note and tossed it straight into the trash can by the elevator. If they could afford Vegas, they could afford the consequences. Over the next few days, their messages got messier. Long paragraphs about stress and bills mixed with, "You're heartless, and we thought you were different." I didn't block them. Blocking would have meant they got to control the silence. I just stopped reacting. No texts, no calls, just quiet. The twins texted a few times too, mostly small things. "We miss you. Mom's mad all the time. Dad keeps saying he's broke again." I didn't bring them into it. I just told them to focus on school and that I'd always have their back. Every night that week, I'd sit at my kitchen table, check my phone, and see another missed call or voicemail pop up. I'd just smirk a little. The funny thing about leeches, they don't know they're bleeding you dry until you stop bleeding. Part of me felt guilty. Sure, it's natural. But most of me, I felt free. Like I was finally cutting the cord that should have been severed years ago. They wanted to treat me like an ATM? Fine. But ATMs lock when you type the wrong PIN too many times. That Vegas comment had cost them exactly $1,200 a month and a son who was done pretending. By the next week, I was still getting their messages. Different words, same begging, but something about how desperate they sounded didn't make sense. It had only been a few weeks since I stopped sending money. No one's house gets repossessed that fast unless there's more going on. I needed answers. And the one person who never sugarcoated anything was Nana, my mom's mom. I called her one evening after work, still in my uniform, sitting in my truck outside a gas station. She picked up on the second ring like she'd been waiting. "Ethan," she said, "I was wondering when you'd call. You doing okay, baby?" "Yeah," I said. "Just need to ask something straight. You've been helping mom and dad with money?" There was a pause. The kind of pause where you can hear the truth forming. Then she sighed. "I have. A few hundred here and there. Sometimes more. Your mom said things got bad after your father's business failed. I didn't want the girls to struggle." "Failed," I repeated. "Right." She caught the tone in my voice. "Ethan, what are you not telling me?" So I told her. The $1,200 I'd been sending every month. The Vegas trip. The Facebook post. Everything. By the time I finished, she was quiet. Then she said, "Lord have mercy. You're not the only one." "What do you mean?" "I talked to Jeannie last week. Turns out she's been helping them too. Said she's been paying part of the bills for over a year. We didn't realize we were both doing it until recently." I just sat there in my truck, gripping the steering wheel. Wait, so they've been taking money from me, from you, and from Dad's own mother? "Every month," she said, "and lying to all of us." Jeannie thought she was keeping the lights on. I thought I was helping with groceries. You thought you were saving the house. That's when it clicked. How my dad always had excuses that didn't add up. How he always claimed the money vanished to repairs or taxes. He wasn't broke. He was just greedy. Nana wasn't done. You want to know the worst part? He's not bankrupt. Not even close. I ran into a man from their old neighborhood a few months ago. Said your father still does small repair work under the table. Cash only. Says he's been making decent money from side jobs. I blinked hard. "You're telling me he's been working this whole time?" "Yes," she said. "He tells everyone he's unemployed so he can collect help. He's been pocketing thousands." Jeannie didn't want to believe it until she saw a photo of him on Facebook fixing someone's patio heater. I leaned back in my seat and just laughed. One of those dry laughs that comes out when you're too mad to yell. "So he's not just lazy, he's a scammer with a wrench." "Ethan, I'm sorry, honey," she said, her voice breaking. We all wanted to believe him. Jeannie and I feel like fools. "Don't," I said. "He's been playing everyone for years." I just didn't know how far he took it. Nana went quiet for a moment. Then her tone sharpened. "Well, that ends now. Jeannie and I already talked. We're calling a family dinner. Everyone's going to sit down, and we're going to get this out in the open. No more pretending." "You're serious?" I asked. "Dead serious. Jeannie's keeping a folder. Screenshots, bank transfers, all of it. We've both been documenting everything since January. Your parents won't be able to lie their way out this time." I didn't say anything for a while. The sunset was fading through my windshield, orange light hitting the edge of my work boots. I thought about all the times Dad called me ungrateful, all the years he talked about being the man of the house while leeching off everyone around him. "Tell me when," I finally said. "Saturday, 6 o'clock, Jeannie's house. I'll text you the address," she said. "And Ethan, don't come angry. Just come ready." "Don't worry," I said. "I'm not going to yell. I'm going to let the truth do the talking." That night, I went home and pulled up my old bank records. Every transfer, every memo line that said mortgage or help, or I printed them out and put them in a folder of my own. The next few days, I stayed quiet. My parents kept messaging like nothing had changed. Mom sending heart emojis, Dad saying, "We miss you," as if those words would erase Vegas. They had no idea their little money triangle was about to explode. By Friday, Nana sent a group text confirming dinner. "Dinner tomorrow at Jeannie's. Be on time." Mom responded instantly with a bunch of exclamation marks and "can't wait." I stared at the screen, half laughing. They thought this was going to be some regular family get-together. They didn't know they were walking into an ambush with table settings. Saturday came. I showed up early, wearing jeans and a clean shirt. Jeannie opened the door with a look that could stop traffic. She didn't even need to say anything. I could see it in her face. The kind of calm that comes before a storm. In the dining room, the table was already set. Looked like a normal family dinner. But sitting right next to the centerpiece was Jeannie's folder, thick with papers. She saw me glance at it and said quietly, "Everything's in here. Every dollar. Every lie." I nodded. "Good. Let them talk first." At 6 sharp, my parents arrived like nothing was wrong. Dad wearing his fake confidence, Mom acting bubbly. Nana just smiled politely. "Sit down, dear. We've got a lot to talk about." I took my seat across from them and said nothing. I didn't need to. They thought I was their backup plan. I was about to be their wake-up call. Mom complimented the decor. Dad gave me a fake pat on the shoulder, like we hadn't just gone weeks without speaking. "Hey, champ," he said. I just nodded. The twins trailed behind them quietly. They looked nervous, like they already knew something was off. Dinner started slow. Everyone made small talk about the weather, the twins' school, the new grocery store Nana hated. The air was stiff, like we were all waiting for someone to hit the ignition. And then Jeannie did. She cleared her throat, adjusted her glasses, and pulled out the thick folder she'd brought. "All right," she said, setting it on the table. "Let's talk about what's really going on." Mom froze mid-bite. Dad tried to play dumb. "What do you mean?" Jeannie flipped the folder open. I slid my own printouts next to hers. Same dates, same story. Let's start with this. January, $600 from me. March, $400 from Nana. Every month after that, same pattern. You told us you were about to lose your house. You told Ethan you were bankrupt. Meanwhile, you were taking money from all 3 of us. Dad opened his mouth, but she held up a hand. "Don't. I'm not finished." She pulled out printed screenshots of messages and receipts, laying them out one by one like evidence in a trial. "You said you were jobless, but here's a picture of you fixing someone's heater in May. You said you had no savings, but here's your Vegas hotel reservation from 2 weeks ago." Nana chimed in. "You lied to me, to Jeannie, and to your son. You called him ungrateful, said he abandoned you. Meanwhile, he's been the one keeping your lights on." Mom's face went pale. "That's not true." "It's absolutely true," Nana snapped. "You painted Ethan as selfish so people would pity you. You even told me he refused to help with the mortgage. I have the messages." Dad tried to chuckle like it was all a misunderstanding. "You're all overreacting. Things have been tough. We were just lying," I said finally. "Yeah, I can tell." The twins looked at me, wide-eyed. Ava whispered, "You've been paying for the house?" I nodded slightly. "For over a year." Their heads dropped. Alexis spoke up, her voice shaking. "Every time we asked for new shoes or money for school projects, Dad said things were tight. We thought we were broke." Nana turned to her sharply. "What do you mean tight?" "He said there wasn't enough for extras," Ava said. "We've been sleeping on inflatables for months because he said he couldn't afford new beds." The entire table went silent. You could hear the clock ticking from the living room. Jeannie's voice was low but sharp. "Inflatables? While your father was playing around in Vegas?" Dad's head snapped up. "That's not what happened." Mom suddenly blurted out, "Oh, stop it! They already know!" Her voice cracked. Everyone froze. Nana's eyes narrowed. "Know what?" Mom looked down at her plate, shaking. "He's been gambling. That's where the money goes. Casinos, online betting, sports apps. All of it. Every dollar. He says he's investing, but he's just chasing losses. That's why he always says things are tight." Dad slammed his fist on the table. "Don't you start, Linda." But it was too late. The room erupted. Jeannie stood up so fast her chair screeched across the floor. "You've been stealing from your own mother to gamble? Are you out of your mind?" Nana's voice came next, calm but dangerous. "You took from your son. You took from both of us. And you have the nerve to sit here acting proud?" Dad went red. "It's not stealing if it's family." "Stealing's exactly what it is," I said quietly. "You just called it love to make it easier to swallow." The twins started crying softly. Nana moved over to comfort them, glaring at my parents. "Enough. This ends tonight." Mom tried to backpedal. "We were going to fix it. We just needed a little more time." Jeannie cut her off. "No. You've had time. Years of it." She pointed toward the door. "You're done taking money from this family. If you want to fix something, start with your life." Nana stood too. "And the girls are staying with me for now. They're not living under that roof while you gamble away your bills." Mom gasped. "You can't just take them." "I can and I will," Nana said. "Unless you want me to call child services and explain the inflatables." Dad tried to talk, but Nana's tone sliced right through him. "Not another word. You've said enough." The twins watched everything quietly from the corner. I could see the relief on their faces, even with the tears. I didn't say a thing through the rest of it. I didn't need to. Everything I wanted to say had already been said for me. The lies, the excuses, the manipulation, all of it burned down in one dinner. Mom started sobbing into her napkin. Dad just stared at the table like he was waiting for someone to fix it for him again. When it was finally over, Nana turned to me. "You go home, Ethan. We'll handle the rest. You've done enough." I nodded. As I walked out the door, I heard Jeannie's voice one last time, firm and final. "You're cut off. No more money, no more chances." I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The circus had officially closed for business, and this time I wasn't the clown. They were. A few days later, the fallout started spreading faster than I expected. Word was traveling through the family like wildfire. But the first real hit came from a phone call Nana got one morning. It was from Mom's old friend, someone she used to gossip with every weekend. The woman was crying on the phone, saying she felt awful after hearing what happened. Apparently, Mom had been talking about me for years, telling people I was selfish, that I refused to help, that I only cared about my own fancy life. Nana had her on speakerphone, and I was standing right there when the friend said, "She always made you sound like you were this cold son who didn't care about his parents." I believed her. She said you barely called her unless you wanted something. I laughed under my breath. "Guess I wanted to pay their mortgage for fun then." The woman sighed. "I'm so sorry, Ethan." She fooled all of us. Every time she asked for money, she'd say, "He doesn't want to help, so we're struggling." We all felt sorry for her. That was her trick. Mom didn't just manipulate money. She manipulated people's emotions. She'd badmouth me just enough to play the victim, and then cash in on the sympathy. Nana told the woman not to feel bad, that the truth was finally out. But you could hear how angry she was under that calm tone of hers. "I raised her better than this," she muttered after hanging up. "She learned to lie faster than she learned to love." That night, everything got worse. Around 9, my phone buzzed. Alexis. She sounded panicked. "Ethan, are you with Nana?" "Yeah, why?" "I went home to grab some clothes," she said, crying. "I found something. You need to tell Grandma right now." "What happened?" she sniffled. "There were papers in Dad's desk. Loan papers. His name, Mom's name, and Grandma Jeannie's name typed as a co-signer. The e-signature bounced during verification, so the bank called Grandma to confirm," she said. "That's how they caught it. Her signature didn't match. I called Nana right after. The bank had already flagged it. She's furious." Within minutes, my phone was blowing up again. Nana, Jeannie, everyone. The grandmothers had already coordinated before I even got a word in. They weren't going to text this one out. An hour later, they were both at my parents' doorstep. 2 old ladies in cardigans, holding folders and fury. Jeannie told me later how it went down. Mom opened the door, surprised but trying to fake politeness. "Oh, Mom, Nana, you didn't have to come all this way." Jeannie didn't even step inside. "You forged my name on a loan," she said flatly. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" Mom froze. "What are you talking about?" Nana pulled out a copy of the document. She'd printed it from Jeannie's email. "Don't play dumb. The bank called. They caught your husband trying to take a second mortgage under your mother's name. You could go to jail for this." Dad came out of the hallway looking half asleep. "Now, wait a minute. This isn't—" "Save it!" Jeannie snapped. "You forged my signature. I'm pressing charges if you don't come clean to the bank by morning." According to Nana, he tried to play the victim again, saying, "We were desperate. You wouldn't understand. Desperate people ask for help," Jeannie told him. "They don't commit fraud." For once, Mom didn't defend him. She just stood there, quiet, realizing how far it had all gone. By the next day, the story had spread through every branch of the family tree. Nana made sure of it. She called every cousin, aunt, and uncle, laid out every lie, every dollar, every scam. There was no more covering it up. The reactions came quick. My uncle texted me, "Did your dad really forge Grandma's name?" My cousin called to say, "Now I understand why she's been avoiding everyone." Even family from out of state called Nana, saying they were cutting contact with my parents completely. They weren't just cut off financially anymore. They were socially done. The pity well dried up overnight. I didn't post anything online, didn't brag or rant. I didn't need to. The truth was already running laps around them without my help. Mom tried to send a few long apology texts, the kind where she'd say, "I know we messed up," but never actually say what they did. I read them once and never replied. Dad didn't text at all, probably too busy trying to dig himself out of the hole he built. By the end of the week, my phone was quieter than it had ever been. No guilt, no begging, no noise, just peace. Nana called a few days later to update me. "The banks cleared everything. Jeannie's fine. They flagged the attempt, so no harm done." "Good," I said. "They're lucky they didn't get locked up." Nana's voice softened. "They won't fix themselves overnight, Ethan. But you did the right thing by stepping back." I didn't say much, just looked out my window, watching the city lights flicker. I wasn't angry anymore, just done. Sometimes silence does more damage than shouting ever could. Weeks went by after the whole loan disaster, and the quiet was almost strange. No messages, no phone calls, nothing. The twins were doing better. Ava settled in with Nana, and Alexis stayed with Grandma Jeannie for school. They finally looked like kids again instead of unpaid emotional support workers. I thought that was the end of it until one Friday night, Nana called me. "They wanted dinner?" she said flatly. I already knew who they were. "Let me guess," I said. "Another apology tour?" She sighed. "They asked to apologize one last time. Jeannie and I agreed, but only if you're there. They claim they want to make things right." I leaned back on my couch, staring at the ceiling. I didn't owe them anything, not even eye contact, but something about it felt necessary. Not for them, for me. Closure. Proof they finally saw what they'd done. "All right," I said. "I'll come, but I'm not doing speeches." Sunday rolled around faster than I wanted. The doorbell rang right on time. My parents walked in holding hands like they were about to meet their parole officers. They looked tired. Not the bad day at work kind of tired. The kind that comes from realizing your entire world stopped revolving around you. "Hi, everyone," Mom said softly, setting down her purse. Dad gave a half smile that looked more like a grimace. "Thanks for letting us come." "For letting us?" Nana didn't reply. She just gestured for them to sit. The twins were already at the table, quiet but watching everything. We all sat down, and for a few minutes it was dead silent. No one even touched the food. Finally, Mom cleared her throat. "I want to start," she said. "We've made mistakes. Big ones. I don't even know where to start." Dad nodded quickly, trying to look sincere. "We're different now. We've stopped gambling. We're going to counseling. We just want to make things right." I didn't say anything. Jeannie folded her arms. Nana leaned forward, her voice steady but sharp. "You're sorry because you got caught, not because you changed." Mom's eyes watered instantly. "That's not true." "It is," Nana said. "You didn't apologize when you were lying. You didn't apologize when you were taking his money. You only did it when you lost everything. That's not remorse. That's desperation." Dad shifted in his seat, trying to find a way back into control. "We're just asking for another chance. Family doesn't turn their backs forever." Jeannie slammed her palm on the table. "You turned your backs first." Her voice cut through the air like glass. "You dragged his name through the mud for years. You forged my signature. You lied to everyone who cared about you. Do you even understand how low that is?" Mom tried to speak, but Jeannie kept going. "You think being sorry erases that? It doesn't. You're lucky we didn't press charges." Mom started crying harder, whispering, "We just want to fix it." Nana shook her head. "You can't fix something you never valued." She took a deep breath. "You're cut off from this family. Completely. You can rebuild your life on your own. The girls stay with us. You will not drag them back into that mess you call a home." Dad stared at her, speechless. For once, he didn't have a single excuse ready. His voice cracked when he finally said, "You can't take our daughters." "I can," Nana said calmly, "because they deserve better, and they'll get it." Ava reached over and grabbed Alexis's hand under the table. Neither of them said anything. They didn't have to. Their silence said everything. They were done too. Jeannie spoke next, her voice low but final. "We're done watching you ruin everyone's lives. You've hurt enough people. This is your mess to clean up now." My dad leaned back in his chair, looking like a balloon with the air knocked out. Mom tried one more time. "Ethan, please, say something." I looked straight at her and said, "You already did all the talking. That's the problem." The table went silent again. You could hear the ticking clock from the living room. After a few moments, Nana stood up and started clearing plates that no one had touched. It was her quiet way of saying the meeting was over. Mom and Dad sat there frozen until Jeannie finally said, "You should go." They left slowly, humiliated, like two people walking away from a funeral they didn't expect to attend. When the door shut, the twins exhaled, like they'd been holding their breath for an hour. Nana hugged them both and said, "You're home now. You don't have to worry anymore." That night, I drove home in complete silence. No music, no calls, just the sound of tires on the road. I didn't get revenge. I didn't scream or ruin their lives. I just stopped giving them the chance to use me. And somehow, that hit harder than anything else I could have done.